start of week 12. Welcome inside the Fantasy Sports Locker Room. Chris Meany, Essen McLaren, John Collins, Mike Omawan. We're talking some fantasy football. Obviously, a little preview. We'll look ahead. Of course, we're downtown Toronto. Sharks, like always, they treat us well here, so we keep coming back. They got some good drinks. Of course, cheap drinks. Wings are awesome. Steak sandwiches.
Those salt and pepper wings, like, really were well peppered. I snuck one when you were in the last one. Good pepper coverage tonight. Not bad.
Very nice.
I mentioned these bad boys.
That started off with
Me too. That's the best.
Yeah, good times. All right, so it's better times here than Denver's backfield, I guess. Monty Ball. It was looking like his season was over. For me, I feel like his season was over if you have him. Like, whatever, man. Like,
situation there, you point out, he goes down immediately, the reaction is, oh, that's it, can't come back, it's over. Ronnie Hillman, he was 2 weeks, then he was 6 weeks, now he's 2 weeks again.
Yes.
There's a very dicey situation there in Denver, and what I'm going to do with it is go with what's known. And what's known is that C.J. Anderson is healthy. He worked very well as a receiver yesterday. He made 8 catches on 10 targets. And we also know that Peyton Manning, he likes throwing the ball. So if you got a guy in the backfield that's proven to pass protect and can catch the ball out of the backfield, I think they're just going to ride him, you know?
So I think we can agree that's the number one get. Like if that bucks, you just spend it all
available
and get it.
Hey, it's not very available.
2 to 3 weeks for Ball at least, and like you said, John, it could be up to 6 for Hillman.
C.J. Anderson might be top 10, 12, you know, and like that. That's what you expect from Monty Ball, and that might be C.J. Anderson right now
because we only like those guys because they were a part of that offense. Now C.J.'s a part of that offense.
And he's the only one right now. Well, they got
Juwan Thompson, and I was going to say, speaking of Anderson,
you got to try to get him too.
Yeah, he's the one that's available. He's the one you got to go out and get if he's there. You're not going to start him week 12 unless you're very desperate. That's right. But, you know, there's one guy in between him and a starting job.
And we've seen that guy go down, right?
So, yeah, that's the situation you want to be. Go ahead and add Juwan Thompson. At this stage of the season, we're hoping that your roster doesn't need, like, that turnover guy, that one week fill in, that whatever. So if I have waiver priority or fat bucks, I'm thinking about a guy like Thompson because, as you say, he's just one play away from being the man there. We saw that with Alfred Blue, right? Now, he's not going to be the guy the rest of the way, but, I mean, they gave him 37 carries yesterday when he was the guy. Yeah, the weird part with Juwan Thompson, ever since scoring 2 touchdowns in week 8, he has 6 carries for 16 yards. So they haven't used him at all, but that's because, you know, Hillman, Monte Ball have been coming in, rotating through that, and then leaving again.
Denver totally got away from the run yesterday in general, right? I don't think, as much as I say they like to pass, I don't think that game yesterday was indicative of a good game plan. They let C.J. Anderson carry 9 times. They're going to have to run the ball a little more, which means they're going to have to spell a guy like Anderson. So Thompson will get a little work, and again, he's in the queue.
But just to be correct, though, you guys would all rather.
I'd rather have Anderson.
Yeah, Peyton Manning is here. We'll just stick with Denver. I think it was the first time since 2004 we've had a part of a team that only had 7 points, and it was against New England.
And he still managed to throw a touchdown yesterday. He keeps that streak going. He's approaching, I think, the all-time record that Drew Brees holds right now for consecutive games. And that's the situation, right? I mean, Manning finds himself yesterday against a good Rams defense that doesn't get a lot of credit on the road with his 3rd-string running back and his receiving core getting hurt throughout the game.
Julius and Emmanuel Sanders both won.
And he had the bomb to Sanders, too, before he went out.
Right. So, you know, Emmanuel Sanders, obviously, we don't know what's going on with the concussion protocol. If he's back, he's good to go. If he's not, there is a situation there where some of the other guys become of interest. Essen, I'm sure Andre Caldwell is in your piece.
Yeah, you know, both Julius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders both think they're going to play week 12. You don't know, especially with the concussion protocol for Sanders. You know, you need to go out there and absolutely get Jacob Cammey, Andre Caldwell, Cody Latimer, grab all 3 of these guys and play them in an emergency situation. Obviously, if Thomas or Sanders play, they become useless. You can drop them again for the next week. But you need to have those guys so that you can put them in on Sunday if you find out Saturday that those guys are out.
I think Tammy could be a top 5 tight end option this week.
And he's certainly a top 10, right? He's a guy that you can grab if you lost maybe Dwayne Allen, although you probably wouldn't get Kobe Fleener, you lost him. If you lost Dwayne Allen, if you lost Julius Thomas, he doesn't go this week, and you know he's not a sure thing. It's not a high ankle sprain. It's not too serious, but he's no sure thing for week 12. He's hopefully plays. He's already being called questionable, so we've got no certainty there. And yeah, Tammy had, I think, 8 targets yesterday, maybe 9. I don't have that number in front of me. And he's going to get volume. He's going to work in the tight end productive offense. And this is a guy that had 52 catches in Manning in 2012. So
yeah, and he has 2 touchdowns on the year already, working as a second tight end there. So with a full workload, I've got a good chance putting one in.
I'm not a fan of Tammy though. He's had chances there before. He hasn't taken advantage of that, and I just don't see anything different now. And there's been times, Thomas was nothing there, and Sammy had his opportunity even before last year there. So I just don't see it.
I'm not selling him as a long-term option, and actually their Week 12 tight end matchup isn't that good. But I'm still saying, this is an offense that found a way to throw 54 times yesterday, an offense that's guaranteed to throw 40 times, and might find themselves without Emmanuel Sanders and without Julius Thomas and relying on guys like Tammy. So if I can get him as a 1-week fill-in, and I need him as a 1-week fill-in, I might take a look at Jacob Tammy.
What's another rookie like Vladimir? Would you guys be surprised if a rookie comes in and dominates? Well,
you guys like him over Wes Welker,
right? Because we talked off camera.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. I mean, Wes Welker yesterday in a game where Sanders goes out, in a game where Thomas goes out, and Manning throws the ball 54 times. Welker had 6 targets. He had less than 30 receiving yards for, I think, the 4th week out of 5 or something of that nature. It's not been a good season for Wes Welker. It looks to me like he's lost a step on tape. It also looks to me like he's just not getting those looks. 6 targets out of 54 throws yesterday with nobody else in the lineup. I actually use this as a reason to just get rid of Wes Welker. If he's not going to excel in a game where there's no other options in the second half, he's not going to excel at all.
You can't. No confidence in starting him. He hasn't done anything.
And so if you're not starting him in week 12 and you're looking to push to the playoffs, get rid of him. Take a guy that you could really, could find himself in a better situation, an Alfred Blue type,
Or a defense.
or take a defense.
Maybe we'll
It's
talk about
Mike's
that later.
strategy. Let's talk about it never, but Mike's advising, I'd even let you do it. I would let you pick up a defense that has a nice matchup in week 15 or week 16. Thinking ahead, then keep Wes Welker, because there's not a lot of sense to me in having Welker on your roster. He might go off in week 12. I don't care. I'm not impressed.
Just let me go on a little quick rant right now, and you briefly mentioned it. You pretty much have your roster set right now.
There's guys are coming back from bye.
From bye. It's not a lot of mix and match. You know what's gotten you to this point. So it's not like you keep swapping in different guys that flex. Your bench is not playing. And most likely, if you're in a deep 12 team competitive league, most of your bench is not producing much. So look at your schedule. You're in a top matchup. Look at week 14. Look at week 15. And pick up a defense. If they have a good matchup, just stash them. It never hurts.
Because injuries happen all the time. You need to, even if you're in a good spot in the standings, you need to be proactive and go out there and get the next top guy.
Defense is
going to win. Get a nice handcuff.
You don't need free defense.
Get a nice handcuff.
You can use 2.
I'd stream block you. If I'm in a league that's pretty competitive and there are guys picking up defenses week over week, I'd look ahead to week 16, find the guy playing the Jags, find the guy playing Tennessee, and I go ahead and add him if the price is right. If I had nobody else to put on my roster.
Because this is your playoff matchup, and you're playing a guy that's streaming. You got to block him from making these moves. You could find it 100%. People are picking up Philly, Green Bay. They're getting 30 points. You get a 30-point effort, you're winning the week.
That's taking it to the next step. I agree. You have to, have to look, but you also, to Ess's point, you also have to be comfortable. You have to be in a situation where you're not playing a guy like, what if you have Ben Tate? What if you have Terrence West? What if you have Monty Ball? And you're in all these.
So those are guys right there I'm ready to move on from. Maybe not Terrence West, but like a Ben Tate. If I'm holding on to Ben Tate, I'm ready to move on to from him, and go ahead and get, to Essence point, I think, even a Niall Davis type, or even an Alfred Blue again. He's had his day in the sun, but we saw how that worked out. So go ahead and get one of those guys, have the lottery ticket on your bench. I'm all behind that.
I would fully rather prefer to have a handcuff, one of those top guys who've gotten you to this point in the season, then have a backup defense.
I follow that, and we saw a bit of that evidence in week 12. However, if those options aren't available, or if you really think like, if I've got Marshawn Lynch and Jamal Charles at running back, I'm probably not gonna go out and get a handcuff, particularly if Niall Davis is taken in that situation. I'll take the defense. I will.
I mean, the chances are you're playing in a competitive league. I mean,
those guys
was
aren't
drafted, Davis was drafted, Christine Michael was drafted.
Christian Michael was drafted and then dropped, and then maybe re-added.
Actually, I kept him in the 16 man all year.
They're all out there, so I'd much rather have that.
The key
I
to the
take
point
that. I do
is to
follow
look
that.
ahead at the schedule. That's what you have to do to take the next step.
And the other point is to shed dead weight off your roster at this point. Whether your strategy is to add a defense if that's your jam, or to get the lottery ticket, which we saw pay off this week, one way or the other, get rid of dead weight. And my point is that Wes Welker is dead weight on my roster at this point. I want to make one more point about that before we go anywhere else. If Sanders misses this week due to his concussion, I still think it's Caldwell or maybe Cody Latimer just for interest sake. Let's see how the practice week plays out. But I think it's Andre Caldwell who's doing the work on the outside, and therefore is going to be the guy that picks up Sanders' 10-ish targets a week. So I like Caldwell over Welker this week, and that's why he's a waiver ad for me.
Yeah,
pending.
Whichever one draws the start, if they do, is an automatic must play. And Tuesday's the day to go out and get them, not Saturday afternoon.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's the toughest call for me. Is it Caldwell? I think it's Caldwell.
Yes, but I think it's
You never know.
These two.
You never know. It happens all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if Cody Latimer just came out of the blue and had a great game.
They are good.
Yeah, I mean, we think it's Caldwell because
Well, because he
Of
came
last
into the
year.
game because he played more snaps.
Yes,
Because Latimer hasn't really been active. There's lots of reasons to use Caldwell.
Absolutely.
But if opportunity presents itself, you never know, right?
For sure. Okay, so we were talking about a little bit about Fleener. We talked about, you said Tammy no good, but you like Hogan. 7 targets, 7 catches, 144 yards.
Stanford connection.
I heard you say it all night, Stanford to Stanford.
Hey, can we get an old baby?
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
They're from California. They're okay because they're playing the dome, so it's still pretty warm. It's not cold temperatures in the dome. But they're good. Stanford to Stanford. That was the best I've ever seen. Kobe Fleener, he had a huge impact.
And it was a good opportunity.
Good opportunity. Dwayne Allen's out, so I like Fleener. There's a chance he might be available in your league. I'll give him a chance, especially as Julius
I
Thomas.
played him 3 times.
Yes. And he's been productive. Him and Dwayne Allen, they keep going like 3 catches, 30 yards, and a touchdown.
He could play week 12.
Allen could play today, I guess, some beat writer, I don't remember his name, but Colts, he said he saw him in there today, was just wrapped up. So hopefully he can play. But there's a chance.
I'll start
he
Fleener.
cannot play.
They got the Jaguars next week.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, it's a nice matchup. And hey, this guy was, I haven't seen him make those kind of catches before. Leaping in the air, he was dragging his foot on the sideline. That's the best I've ever seen him.
So Jaguars,
That's a
Washington,
little chemistry developing right
and
there.
then Jaguars, Washington, then 2 tough matchups in Dallas to close. It's unlikely that Dwayne Allen's unavailable, obviously, for that long. But let's keep an eye on how the chemistry redevelops with Kobe Fleener and Andrew Luck there.
Well, there's a chance they've used 2 most of the
Yes,
season.
absolutely.
Obviously, Allen a little bit more. But now with Ahmad Bradshaw especially, they're going to throw more often. They're not going to run it with Kurt Anderson more often, that's for sure. So, Kobe Fleener, he deserves more of a workload after that.
I think Jordan Reed is banged up a bit too. So let's just talk quickly. Guys who you would get rid of to make a shot at some of these waiver wires. Like, are you guys done with Zach Ertz?
Interestingly, Zach Ertz, of course, after I went all in on Brent Selleck after watching things unfold with Mark Sanchez a week ago, Brent Selleck had 2 targets. Ertz had 6, made 5 receptions for 55 yards, something in that territory. He had the bigger game. I'd probably hang on to Ertz, who's the more dynamic talent in an offense that's going to throw the ball a lot. They're going to run 80 plays a game. Probably find an opportunity to throw one of those tight ends. So I'd hold him.
Jason Witten.
Yeah, Witten's gone. Witten was off my roster for weeks. He scored a couple touchdowns.
So that's why people might want to know, like,
If Witten's been better, better of late. His last couple games.
He's still not getting a lot of targets. He's spending a lot of time blocking. Yeah, he's in the end zone, but 30 yards looks pretty bad when it's not in the end zone.
all right, same with the Colts, running backs, Bradshaw. Looks like he broke his ankle.
So to go back to Fleener, not to take anything away from Fleener, but Darrell Revis totally locked down Reggie Wayne.
which is why you want to play tight ends playing against New England, right?
That's right.
You've got
Revis.
great cornerbacks there. Revis has been really limiting WR1's whole season. T.Y. Hilton had a quiet day. He
played Ty a couple times too. So
you're going to want to play tight ends against New England. So when in doubt, when you're looking at that coin flip, it's absolutely strength of schedule for me. To your point, Trent Richardson is going to get some carries, guys.
you know, against Jacksonville, hey, I don't know. You can start him.
I mean, I know he had a bad game last night. He'd actually been running reasonably effectively, like by Trent Richardson standards, running pretty well coming into that. Pretty good. Like 3.5. That's good by T-Rich measures.
Yeah. That's what you want to judge people by.
And they want to run the ball more. Like they didn't run. They had no success of running the ball
They did not.
against New England. And
So there's
no
a chance that you may not have success at all the rest of the way.
but
That's great news for
they're
him.
gonna try though.
Right. And
Exactly.
Darren Herron, is he on?
Darren
He's got to be on your.
Yeah,
I think he's more
Darren Herron's
valuable
on there.
in a
Boom.
PPR situation.
He's higher, yeah. Obviously, in PPR, because Richardson can't catch less than he can run. So,
Richardson's done all right as a receiver. He had a
Yeah.
nice 21-yard reception last night.
All right,
I'm the
great.
Trent Richardson apologist.
yeah,
Um,
one and only.
Yeah, I limited in my ranks. I've now got 5 weeks with which to see what he's going to do as the legit number one there. And they aren't going to run the ball a whole lot. They said a few weeks ago that offense and their season's hopes were going to be pinned on Andy Luck, and they're going to keep winging it around. But, you know, Trent was 16 to 20 touches again as the focal point of that offense, doing a little work as a receiver, where if you look at the numbers, he's actually been, like, semi-efficient this year. I think he's a total yardage surprise. I think he's a guy you can flex 100% the rest of the way.
All right. Well, last week I was bragging up Cleveland D, and Mallett threw all over him a little bit.
Mallett threw all over them, and the Texans in general, of course, ran all over him, right?
What a franchise high 34 carries, and it comes
36.
36.
For a $156.
Net. My boy Blue.
And that's, again, so that's to Esther's point earlier.
Hold on, Blue.
Remember what? Do I remember Varsity Blues, or is this
No,
another thing?
we talked before about how you need to hold
Hold on, Alfred Blues. I remember Varsity Blues. I remember every James Vanderbeek film ever made. Final Destination was in that? No. I don't. All right. So, that's it out. He ran really well when given the opportunity. Aaron Foster's coming back next week, most likely. And, you know, there's not enough. Fine. They ran the ball 50 times yesterday, so there might be some opportunities for Blue even as a backup. But really, Arian Foster, that's his show when he's back in the lineup. What I'm more interested in is the defense on the other side of that game. You talked up Cleveland D. All of a sudden, they're down a couple of linemen coming in, and then they lost Jabal Sheard and Carlos Dansby yesterday. They're now down 2 linebackers, and the Texans run all over them with a second-string running back. You know, I really like how things look running against Cleveland the rest of the way. The schedule's not that exciting. They've got the Falcons and Steven Jackson next week, who's had a minimum of 18 touches in every game. In his last 3, Anton Smith, broken leg. He'll get 6 extra snaps next week with us.
You starting S-Jax?
I am. I would start S-Jax again as a flex, maybe as an RB2 against Cleveland. Then they play the Bills. We'll see what Fred Jackson's health look like. The Colts and Trent Richardson, baby. Get the Bengals again and Carolina. Not a lot of great running backs in there, but some flex-worthy options if we see that Cleveland really can't stop the run with those limitations on defense.
So drop the D now.
Drop him.
All right.
You want to talk about Mallett winging it around?
His arm looked good.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with it. Deep ball. To your point, I think Hopkins seems like that a lot.
Well, and Eston, I had a piece that was very well read through the week on that focus, on getting the ball to DeAndre Hopkins with Brian Mallett, but you presented a counterpoint about Andre Johnson, and what I think is just kind of interesting is that, I mean, they just both saw the ball, they both looked a little more productive yesterday.
Yeah, Andre Johnson was the one who, sort of pushed for Ryan Mallett to get acquired, was the one who was ecstatic when Mallett was named the starter. He looked at him quite a bit as well. Both receivers had over 65 yards on the day, very productive days. He looked to Mallett a little bit earlier on, Mallett looked to Hopkins a little bit earlier on with the deep passes. once that one got picked off in the end zone, he stopped doing that a little bit much. And Andre Johnson got most of the mid stuff.
I think you can trust Johnson now as an owner. I think you can start to trust him a little bit more. I do a little bit more.
He's
And
a
I
2
think
for
this is gonna be
me.
his
Maybe
second
2.5. Yes, he's going to look to him, and he did yesterday. Final numbers: 10 targets for Johnson, 7 catches, 68 yards. It's a nice little. Good. Thank you. Nice high floor day, right? It's 6.8 points. It's nothing to get too excited about. Hopkins has 8 targets, makes 4 catches, and puts up 80 yards. And he does that because, as we talked about coming into the week, Mallett was throwing the ball deep, and he's got the arm to do it. Now, he only threw 5 passes over 20 yards, and as you point out, one of them gets picked, but one of them was a 41-yard connection. And if you're DeAndre Hopkins,
That was a nice pick.
I didn't even see the play.
No, Hayden, it was Tam Dude's nice pick.
Go ahead and they'll do that to you. Hopkins makes a 41-yard reception there, and he finishes the day with 4 catches for 80 yards. With the type of depth of target I think he's going to get from Ryan Mallett, you like Hopkins catching even 4 or 5 balls to have 100-yard games. A-Dot yesterday, and this is not my jam, but you guys really got me looking into it, and I'm curious about it here. Average depth of target yesterday for Hopkins, 17.9 yards. Average depth of target for Andre Johnson, 9.3 yards. That's 1 game, but if that trend continues, Hopkins needs it. I'd expect it to. He's quick on the outside. He's getting open. He has been most of the year. Hopkins needs less catches to be productive than Johnson does, and that's why, to me, he's a better upside play. He's a player of interest to me. Former Eagle Demaryius Johnson also had 8 targets yesterday. It's a backup effect, right? Yeah. All right, I'm done on Mallett.
Another backup effect, Jordan Matthews.
I don't know about that.
Really
That one looks like it's here to stay, eh? Jordan Matthews?
Yep. They're buddy, sitting on Mark Sanchez. They called it a bromance at the start, and hey, you see it all the time. Backups come in. Jordan Matthews, I think, must start.
And Jordan Matthews is already looking more live, if you will, than Riley Cooper before the swap. And then, you see it happen. I said I was wrong on Brett Selk, of course, but clearly the use of Jordan Matthews has carried over. He finished with 8 targets, 5 catches yesterday, $7, and he scores. Chris, you and I talked yesterday about Jeremy Macklin, or one of us in the group did anyway, about Macklin and where his targets came from, right? It was all late in the game. Yeah, it's out of reach. Now, Jeremy Macklin had a nice day. He's still a wide receiver 1 for me, and he got 10 targets. But 2 of those targets came in the first half when the game was still in question. Frankly, it was over as soon as it started. But when the game was still live, Jordan Matthews had 5 of his 8 targets in the first half while the game was still being contested. Now, we're expecting Philly to be in some closer games than that the rest of the way. So, to me, Matthews is very much a wide receiver 2 based on how I think Mark Sanchez is going to use him. You guys in on that?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's just another great rookie.
He might even be better, might produce more than Macklin the rest of the way. It's something that, you can't bench Macklin.
You can't, and that's what I was going to say. He's been a consistent source of targets
you
all
might
season.
be able to.
I think if you're a Macklin owner, and I own him a lot. I think we said this before that his production may actually go down a little bit.
So you're happy to see it come.
I'm happy to see it happen at least at all.
Yeah.
Garbage time or not. Sanchez, he hasn't had that many
that.
quarters. Yes, he had a rough day, but he's still for 300 yards. And one of the picks I don't really.
One of the picks I don't put on him. Macklin fell down, or was pass interfered.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
So just be happy that there's at least some chemistry there.
And so I agree with that.
Like, see what happens.
Particularly, the fantasy stats don't matter, right? Yeah. First half, second half, last minute, Kelvin Benjamin, doesn't matter, right? Yeah. The stats count. But I'm more using the first and second half numbers to support Jordan Matthews. Because I'm just saying that when the game was live, when it was still being decided, Sanchez was looking through his guy, and
there's
he did a pretty good job yesterday.
that Matthews is his first one. There's no question.
He threw up a few balls that weren't really very good passes yesterday, just in the direction of Matthews. And again, maybe not as an Eagles fan, but maybe as a fantasy owner, I want to see those. I want to see as many crappy targets go to Jordan Matthews as I can get. Matthews came down with at least one of them.
Not to go too much on defenses, but Green Bay Packers, that's the defense you want to own. They got playmakers all over the place. That's back-to-back weeks of demolishing teams. Chicago Bears, they're getting touchdowns all over the place. Clay Matthews, Julius Peppers, they're getting sacks, they're getting interceptions. they're available.
They're getting more pressure on the quarterback, and that coincides with a different look at the way they're using Clay Matthews. So, it's not an altogether bad point. For me, as you know, they got Minnesota next week. For me, as you know, defense is matchup dependent, and next week they've got a nice matchup against Teddy Bridgewater, who looked awfully confused against the Chicago Bears defense. Just got smoked the week before by Green Bay. So
They had a bye, but back-to-back 50 burgers for the Bears.
First time since the Rochester Jeffersons.
First time
Since the Jeffersons.
Oh baby. So I'm in the Green Bay next week against Minnesota. Absolutely.
How about that? That game's pretty interesting. Another goose egg.
Who is he? I don't know who he is. There's so much hype on him.
That's actually a great point, though. That game was interesting. Number one, Minnesota managed to run, I think, 47 plays. 47 plays against the Chicago Bears defense that hasn't stopped anybody in 2 games and really most of the season. 47 plays. They focused on the run. They shut down Jerick McKinnon, only gave him 8 carries, shut down Matt Asiata, and then there was nowhere to go in the passing game. Interestingly, and I think, like I said about Wes Welker, how when the guys got hurt and he didn't get a lot of work, that told me something. Yesterday, Jarius Wright went out of that game, and all of a sudden, what's his name? Charles Johnson. Charles, number 12.
So we said it first, number 12.
That's actually twice I've done it with Gary this year. Gary and Thorne Fantasy Sports Network. We don't know who Charles Johnson is. You don't need to know who Charles Johnson is. But the point is, he had 7 targets yesterday when Wright went out of the game, and they still only gave 2 balls to Cordarrelle Patterson. Done. He's done. Yes, he can still make a play. He can crack him up, but that's a bust.
And it's big bad because he's got some skill. I know he's really raw compared to a lot of other rookies.
You know he's
starting to play in college. This is a guy who really just started to play football 3 years ago.
You know he's going off
he can
week
still
16
develop.
for 150 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Well, and you know who's going to be a really nice draft day buy next year? Cordarrelle Patterson.
Yeah.
You paid way too much for him this year. He's still a player of interest, and LaShawn McCoy's another one.
All right, let's move on.
Or Kyle Rudolph too, a goose egg, but
Did you hear Lynch didn't go to the locker room at halftime? Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, that's actually.
If you're in a keeper league, you go get Christian Michael right now.
Yes, you do. 2015 is the Christian Michael season. Absolutely, I'm into that. He doesn't come back, and Lynch knows it. And that's why he's being Marshawn Lynch. He's being Marshawn Lynch because he's Marshawn Lynch, but that's why it's so exasperating, right? Doesn't go to the dressing room yesterday. You think that's a big deal?
Des didn't do that. You would be happy with that.
no. I'm thinking fantasy-wise is a big deal. Like they're gonna give Knox they're gonna give him the ball.
You think he'll be
Exactly where I was gonna go.
Absolutely.
Let's say
That stays
name a
on.
player. You said Des. Name another guy. Name it back. Just pick it back. Just pick it back. Name one.
Opponent's free agent, Mark Murray.
So if DeMarco Murray sits on the bench, this is a bad example because I know it's Jerry Matthew. He uses it. Yeah. If DeMarco Murray sits on the bench, doesn't go into the halftime with his teammates, do you think Joe Randall comes out of half, starts carrying the ball?
No.
Yeah, not a great example. Eddie Lacy throws a tantrum. Do you think Mike
Yes.
McCarthy takes that? Starks comes out and runs the ball, right?
That I would.
So there's a point. You know what happened with Marshawn Lynch yesterday? 12 carries first half, 12 carries second half. 24 carries, they don't give a crap.
No,
So that was
definitely
And
better
they
than
should.
They want to use him as much as
Absolutely.
possible and wear him out as much as they can.
Maybe that's it, but also he is their best player, and they're fighting for a playoff spot. So I'm just saying, if anybody's reading all this Marshawn Lynch stuff, he's about to get fined $100,000 for not talking to the media, we think, too. If anybody reads any Marshawn Lynch bad press, just as an owner, don't let it worry you. Start him next week, start him the week after that. They're going to ride this guy till the wheels fall off. They're fighting for a playoff spot. He's their best player. He had a great game yesterday. Stuffed a couple times, so he had a great day.
Has he made any money this year with all the fines, Marshawn Lynch?
It was not worth holding out, I'll tell you that. Anything he lost, anything he got that little kickback,
Pretty sure they reimbursed him.
So all these waiver wire guys who we were talking about earlier, and he's most likely owned, we should not forget about Josh Gordon, who
he's gone. He's owned.
he's 77% owned in Yahoo. I'm assuming NFL is actually probably lower.
Probably 23.
Yeah, so
Anyways,
he's probably not available, but he's a guy that you plug and play next week. Like,
so let's talk about that. You're playing him, obviously.
Without a question. Unless I have 3 wide receiver ones, I'm playing Josh Gordon, and even then, I'm probably playing Josh Gordon next week.
How about this?
Soft matchup.
They play Atlanta.
They play the Atlanta Falcons next week.
Shanahan can't wait. He's so excited. That was his quote. Everyone's excited.
Another thing, like, is Taylor Gabriel and Andrew Hawkins. I'm sorry, bro. I'm gonna let you finish.
You continue.
Andrew Hawkins, Taylor Gabriel. Are they in your waiver piece?
Andrew Hawkins is not Taylor Gabriel. He's had a good run. I appreciate everything he did this year for the Browns, but
That's good.
he's the one getting the bump. Andrew Hawkins, though.
So I would agree with that. Andrew
He's owned a bit, isn't he?
Hawkins, but he's still
the Canadian 37%.
he's still fairly available. Yeah, he had 12 targets yesterday, scored a touchdown. He maintains a lot of PPR value for me. In fact, he might look a little bit better when he's not being asked to be the guy running over the top. Do a little work on the inside with somebody taking the top of the field. Taylor Gabriel did have 13 targets yesterday, and he has had a nice run. He's not a real ad for me. I'm not excited about it, but I'm going to watch that game next week and see how his snaps look, because I think the guy that might be in jeopardy is Miles Austin. Taylor Gabriel is a guy that looks a lot like Andrew Hawkins, same sort of short, shifty speed, but I wouldn't be shocked if they got them both in the lineup at the expense of Miles Austin, so we'll see how that goes.
There's just so few real-life number 3 wide receivers that you start on a regular basis. I
it's
don't
not gonna be
think
the
you want to start the Cleveland Browns.
So,
Warriors struggle too at times.
Hoyer struggled at times. He completed 40% of his passes with a lot of pressure against a great defense, and he still threw for 330 yards. A really sneaky daily fantasy play or a back end, like even a QB1 next week, depending on who your guy is and what his matchup looks like. I think I'd pick up Brian Hoyer off the waiver wire and consider using him against Atlanta with Josh Gordon in the lineup. I think they're gonna have a lot of fun.
You were kind of having a high last week about Stan. You're like, I don't know, maybe all right, maybe all right. So we talked about Stan Floyd, Larry Fitzgerald's dealing with.
It's clear, right? They said that
He's gonna play. It's a grade 2 MCL straight. He's gonna try to play.
Let's talk about your boy Drew.
That's smart, but
Well,
I'm happy. I own Floyd. I'm happy.
yeah.
Floyd had 2 catches yesterday. They're both in the end zone.
2 touchdowns.
2 catches, 5 targets.
And we mentioned before, Michael Floyd, his highest usage rate of the season was back when Drew Stanton was the starter, so might be something there. I like Michael Floyd. He's the most talented guy right now, I think, in the Cardinals receiving core.
Especially if Larry Fitzgerald is limited.
Yeah.
If he
So
finds himself a little slower.
I'm starting Floyd.
I
3-1. They lost.
You gotta be pretty stacked, I think.
had Floyd on several benches this week, and I was okay with that decision, even though he went off. Lost a couple of matchups for them on the bench, and I still made the right choice. Again, 5 targets. He's gonna get some deep looks. They're gonna try to get him the ball, but
That's the same thing.
that 5 target number is his thing. It's not on.
I think that might even go up.
Cooks, drop him, get rid of him.
Yeah, that's
But
the
yeah.
end of his season, more or less.
I'll tell you a quarterback I like that you want to start. Another receiver that's now elite, and that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers duo, Josh McCown. I was going to bring up first, I'll let you think about it, Mike Evans or Josh Gordon next week. But how about Josh McCown? I'm starting him because Mike Evans is going to make Josh McCown relevant, and there's still a veteran in.
Gordon hasn't done anything in a long time besides smoke weed and soccer.
And we don't know what his game shape is, but I think you have to assume that he's good to go.
That's good to know. He's not going to get 22 targets.
You might get 10. You might get 10.
If he has a 10-yard offense,
The trade deadline, and most leagues trade deadline is over, but if it's still available, I would take Mike Evans over Josh Gordon.
I would do that.
Trade deadline's
I
available.
mean,
but-
Mike Evans is hot right now, guys. Let's not make any mistake there, right? 458 yards receiving over the last 3 games and 5 touchdowns in that span. He's catching everything. And to your point about Josh McCown, I'm not totally sure I'm starting him. He put 73% of his offense through Mike Evans yesterday. So, yeah, Evans had a great day as a receiver, but McCown had an okay day as a quarterback.
And I'm still probably starting. So you finish this.
It's all right.
Yeah, you finished.
It's all right. I'm going to hold the look. I'm just going to hold it. You go.
You finish.
was just gonna say, credit Josh McCown for making some throws. Like he put the ball there. Yeah, but he put the ball there in stride. It wasn't like he was throwing it up jump ball. He put it there in stride for 6'5" targets to just catch it and run.
He needs to go get Johnny Gonzalez today. It's Texas A&M connection.
There you go. I was just gonna say credit him for putting the ball there. I think they have a lot of chemistry right now. It looks good.
He looked really good for Grambling too. Sorry, but that's what really made a
Yeah,
difference for
yeah,
them.
I was gonna add that because continuing to get like 30 yards rushing. You added like 3 points to that 15 point total. Yep. Now you're looking at the 18, maybe 20. I'm starting that Cam Newton's on the bye. He's a hit or miss, but these guys are good starting to McGowan. Good topic too. Vincent Jackson. He only had 3 catches. I'm still starting Vincent Jackson. He's getting started. Mike Evans is not going to get 200 yards every week. He might get 100, but that 50 yards from Jackson might go up to 80, 90, and you're kind of hoping
I'm
that.
starting Jackson and hoping for a TD. And he scored this series at lots of volume. That's fine. He's a back end 2 wide receiver 3 probably for me right now, just because a lot of the red zone looks and a lot of the scoring opportunities are going to Mike Evans. But Evans is absolutely a wide receiver 1 for me. He still probably sits in the back end on a weekly basis. And he's a guy I'm ranking ahead of. Hey, even Julio Jones right now, without a really good offensive line in Atlanta.
No touchdown since week 3.
Yeah, he got
I'm
a nice week
frustrated.
to go.
Jones arm. This guy has so much skill. He's so good. And it's going to be another guy.
Yeah, we talked about
the value. He's going to drop down a little bit. It's not. I don't think he's going to be in that 4-5 range. I think he's outside of that range.
and he might be.
I think you pay attention to how Atlanta deals with their offseason, right? And as you say, he's got a lot of talent. He's still a top 10 receiver.
Trade Le'Veon Bell for Mike Evans.
And right now, today,
3 weeks ago, he did. I wonder if his mind has changed.
I think it has. And I love receivers. This is a passing game, baby.
Bell doesn't score a lot of touchdowns.
And the reason why I don't like Le'Veon Bell, I guess we could save it until we get to the Monday night.
I think we're there.
Unless there's something else you guys want to get off your chest. Gio, we didn't talk about Gio. He's second back. I don't know if you trust him. You have him.
You're hanging on to him. You're hoping. If you can avoid playing him in week 12, you might want to. And I really think that Jeremy Hill retains obviously a lot of work. He had 27 carries and ran the ball really well yesterday. And he's done pretty good in pass protection as well. Jeremy Hill, though, is going to be the guy that softens up the defensive line. You might see Giovanni Bernard have some big second half if Jeremy Hill is really breaking things down and running up the middle. I like both of them as RB2s moving forward, assuming that Bernard comes back healthy. I think Bernard can thrive on 13 to 15 touches just as he did last year. I don't think he ever was a 20-touch guy. And if you pay any attention to me, which you probably don't, and I don't blame you, I've been saying that all year. All right, Monday.
I guess last quick note, St. Louis, they had a couple of intriguing options. Trey Mason looked great.
Oh, yeah.
I really like Trey
He
Mason.
hasn't had a snap since week 8.
Against Denver. That is a very tough defense
Very
to run
tough.
on.
I love
And a
that.
very tough defense even to have Russian temps on. And they committed to Trey Mason.
So you go with Star Mason. No.
Over Cleveland, over Isaiah Crowell, Terrence West, Ben Tate.
Oh, yeah. Why not go?
I'm always surprised. Well, I guess he'd be a little bit surprised. I'm surprised though if Tate actually hasn't Tate. They said they want to use all 3.
And Tate played a few more snaps for yesterday than Terrence West. He doesn't look awful. Josh Gordon coming back helps everybody.
Yeah.
Top off.
If there's a fantasy player called Cleveland Browns running backs, sure, I'd start them.
Like Tampa Bay
Yeah,
Goldens. Sorry about that
Any
today.
of those 3.
Another Ram.
Like
Only one goal in Tampa is beneficial.
You buying that Kenny Britt performance? You buying Kenny Britt's performance? 4 catch, 100 plus.
It's interesting because it's not Davis throwing the ball anymore, so it's still maybe. I want to see it again.
There's not a lot of options.
Boom bust. But
Not a lot of options there.
And he's currently on actually, it's like 15 or 11%. Just like with tonight, I'm down 8 points. I have Martavis Bryant. Am I going to get it?
Yeah.
you might not.
So you know he's going to get a touchdown in every game.
I'm down 17 and I might get it.
Hey, listen, Martavis Bryant riding a really good streak, kind of like a Mike Evans-like streak. He's scoring in every game, right? Sometimes twice. That's great. And he's an athletic talent, but it's just this Pittsburgh offense has not looked good on the road, guys. Ben has thrown 5 touchdowns in 5 road games. If we assume that continues this week, that means Bryant's got to be the guy that scores. And there's talent there. Keith Miller works okay in the red zone. He might dump one off to Le'Veon Bell. There's this guy called A. Brown. He's not bad either. Even Marcus Meaden, he's done some scoring. I mean, Bryant is the red zone option. We saw an 80-yard touchdown from him last week, pardon me. He's no lock, though, particularly on the road. I got to be real about it.
On the road, you definitely got to be a little wary, but, Tennessee is a struggling team right now.
They might find some short fields. They might find some opportunities. Pittsburgh might put up some points, absolutely. They're going to win this ball game.
And I like Bryant, he's 6'4".
He is 6'4".
I want to see.
We've covered that a lot.
It's a great target in the red zone.
How tall is Marcus Wheaton?
5'11". Brown's 5'11" too. 5'10".
I just talked about that in the podcast. Fantasy Sports Network. You were all about it, and I agree with you.
And even on an interception, so he could have had 2 touchdowns. He kind of forced it, but I like him forcing it. He's looking flying sweat.
5 weeks ago, we were here when he made his debut, and in that game, in his first game, Big Ben was the captain. He's a big target.
Does Le'Veon Bell take a hit with all these receivers taking plays in Pittsburgh?
I want to see a game from Le'Veon Bell. I feel like that's the Le'Veon Bell that I haven't seen what I saw in the first 3 or 4 weeks.
I think he's looking okay.
Why don't we use him at the Reds? I don't know.
And he's got 6'4" Mark Davis to throw it at.
If you notice, they were on the red zone. They were on the 1 against Jacksonville earlier in the year. They ran 4 plays and Bell didn't touch the ball once.
He was on the field for 1 play, 1 snap.
I'm a little worried.
Wow, that's a good job. Other side of the football, Bishop Sankey, guys. No, he's got to have a night someday.
No, yeah, but I'm not really.
He's been playing well. He just hasn't done the end zone.
Yeah. It's like it happened 2 years from now, 3 years from now. He walk in this year.
So he got his red zone opportunities taken away from him last week by Sean Bumblurooski Green and Leon Washington. I mean, those guys played a handful of snaps. Sure, they gave away the red zone looks. I think tonight is the night, national stage. Bishop Sankey does something worth noting. I'm not saying he goes off.
Somebody say,
I think he helps his owners this week.
Somebody say around us last night yesterday about how they would rather have Bishop and who?
I don't even know. It was a bit ridiculous, whoever he said. I wasn't with it.
And I didn't know if it was you or
it was Pat. I can't tell you who he said. But it was like
a lot of people do have some high hopes from him. We've been hearing about him. Rob Silver, CJ Anderson. CJ Anderson. Maybe. But anyway, again, there are some people who do believe that Bishop Sankey.
I'm with you on Bishop. I think he's going to have a decent game. You see it all the time. You see it all the time. Every year, these guys, these rookies come in week 12, week 13, they go off. They go off. No pressure. Season's over, and then there's nothing to lose. Why not give Bishop Sankey the ball 25 times? That might not happen this week. That might not happen this week, but that might happen in 2 weeks when they're 2-9. And might as well. What else are they going to do? Hamburger can't throw the ball.
It's a must-win game for the Steelers. They're not going to let some rookie who sucks.
They showed it quite well against the Jets last week.
All right, guys.
Eagles, Texans, Giants who can be run on. Eagles, Texans, Giants, Jets.
To be fair, the Eagles' run D is actually pretty good. Lacey had a couple of nice plays, but those were passes.
Week 14 and 16, top 8 matchup for any opposing rushing defenses. Let's take a look at what Bishop Sankey does. I don't think you should give up on him. He's got 2 solid matchups to close your season. Give him a look.
All right, baby. Signing up on Bishop Sankey. Run forwards.
Don't do it.
Sorry, for Chris Meany.
John Collins, Mike Owen, that's my player.
Hey guys.